Hi, my name is Brian from Denmark, your tech friend, and this is a comparison of the OnePlus Nord N10 to the most sold Android phone of 2020, the Samsung Galaxy A51. We're nearing the end of 2021, so are these phones still worth picking up? Let's find out as we compare. Let's start off by comparing what you get inside the boxes. In the Nord N10 you get this 30-watt charger and a USB-C to USB-A cable. In the Samsung box you get headphones. Woohoo! That's perhaps a legacy of the phone actually being released in December of 2019, because you don't see that anymore. Also, you get a USB-C to USB-A cable and you get a 15-watt adaptive charger. That's the standard issue from Samsung.
Of course, you also get manuals and a SIM card ejection tool.
Let's just take a look at the phones themselves. I know it's a subjective matter, but just have a look at this OnePlus Nord N10. I just think it's stunning. It's so pretty. And I don't know what to say about the Samsung A51, but it's a phone, you know. We have mounted fingerprint authentication on the OnePlus, whereas the A51 has it on screen down here, and of course that is always a plus to have it on the back side, I believe. Another thing I would like to point out is the placement of the volume up down button here on the Samsung. It's all the way up here, and on the OnePlus it's down here, so it's less of a reach, and I think that's very handy when you're using it with one hand. You can also see the OnePlus is a bit bigger, and that's even though both of the screens are at 6.5 inches. So it's only because of the bezel that the OnePlus is a bit bigger. The battery on the OnePlus is a 4300 mAh, whereas it's a 4000 mAh on the Samsung. Battery life is always in direct correlation with the screens, because they are the main culprit of battery consumption. And what I want to talk about here is that when the screens are the same size, it's not gonna matter too much. That said, the Samsung is a Super AMOLED 60Hz display, whereas the OnePlus is an LCD IPS of 90Hz, and they both have around 405 ppi. This one also has got 6 GB of RAM, whereas this only has got 4 GB of RAM. If we have a look at the button, we are very happy to see and tell that both of them have a 3.5mm jack, and you can see USB-C and a downward facing speaker. Talking about speakers, the OnePlus actually has stereo speakers, because the top-mounted ear speaker also doubles as a stereo speaker. I've also been on a photo shoot that I'm going to show you right now. Okay, and now we're on the selfie cams of these two phones. It's the OnePlus on the left from my perspective, and there's no stabilization, well, not any more than what is inside of these phones put on right now. We're in full HD on the OnePlus, and we're in 4K on the Semi Boy, so that should give a little more pixelated or less pixelated view, depending on how you see that, of course. Okay, and just a quick test of dynamic range on both of these phones. That's the OnePlus on the left, which is now shooting in 4K on both of these phones, and it's the Samsung on the right, what you want to look out for here. So how well are all the colors represented? In your opinion, we do not have any kind of stabilization on these phones right now. But you look out for how bright are the bright colors, how dark are the dark colors. Okay, so this is the selfie video at nighttime on the Samsung Galaxy A51 and the OnePlus Nord N10 on the right. What do you think about the quality? Okay, and now I'm going to show you a bit of the UIs. Okay, so this one's got Oxygen OS on top of Android. Samsung is called One UI, and this is, well, how
Some of those top-down menus look. If you scroll down, you get these listings. And notice on the Samsung you scroll left and right, on the OnePlus you scroll up and down.
The Samsung comes with this entire like Samsung folder with an easy voice record. That's very good indeed, because it can also translate directly what you're saying into like words, so you don't have to write them. And then of course it has knock security. You can't see that right there, but it also has Samsung Notes, which is also very brilliant. On the OnePlus, you also have a bit of OnePlus features, and there's also a recorder. You have OnePlus Communications, Community, but it's also great on OnePlus. It doesn't come with any bloatware. All the extra things you can see, PUBG, mini football stuff that I put on there. So it's very clean UI to operate. And a bit of PUBG! The Samsung Galaxy A51 plays PUBG at maximum volume. You're listening to right now on HDR Ultra. That's where it maxes out. But that's very fine because of the great GPU inside this device. And as a comparison, you can hear the OnePlus is a bit louder, just as it is. Also, it has stereo speakers. And it plays PUBG at HD high. That's where it maxes out. And these are the Geekbench scores of the OnePlus Nord N10 and the Samsung on the right. Okay, and also just the 3D Live stress test on the OnePlus and the Semi. What you want to look out for here is actually stability, and where you can see the OnePlus is much more stable than the Semi. That said, by the way, I just want to show this. You can see it's only in the last 2 rounds, each round, so about a minute, where it tests the GPU to the max. It's only at the last. It drops down in frame rates per second, and what's interesting about that is when I played PUBG on this device, it also plays like almost an entire game before it says to you, please turn down the GPU settings, but it runs PUBG on Ultra HD. Okay, so we're coming to the end, and I'm going to explain to you for how long you can expect these phones to be updated. But just before we talk about that, I'm just going to tell you a bit of the minuses on these phones. Even though it looks very pretty, it's a very plasticky phone. And even though it has stereo speakers, the speakers are not that good of a quality. And the call quality when you make a phone call is like average to below average, both on your side and the receiving. Okay, and the main problem with the Samsung A51 is that it is slow. But I have made these beast mode changes, and I'll link to that up here to Ackerman's, as to what you can do, what tweaks you can do in the settings to get this phone to act just a bit faster. And then to answer the OS updates question from the start. For how long will these guys receive updates and OS updates? This one is promised to get Android 11 and then no more. It comes with Android 10. Typically, it will get 2 years of security patches after that. With the Samsung, it comes with Android 10. It's been upgraded to Android 11, and you can expect 3 major OS upgrades according to Samsung themselves. So in my account, that would be, if it comes ships with 10, that would be 11, 12, 13, right? And then 2 years of security patches after that. That means that this phone will last you for about, I would say, December 2023. Then it will no longer be supported, and this phone will last you to about the summer of 2025, if my calculations are right. My name is Brian from Denmark, your tech friend, and I'll see you in the next one. The general feel I get from this Samsung phone is lackluster. It reminds me of like an old East German restaurant where... Og nu skal jeg jo skide.